The night shift patients. Dr. Simon Wells had always been fascinated by the night shift. There was a certain eerie calm in the hospital after hours, a slow pulse beneath the sterile surface when shadows stretched longer and the hum of machines grew louder. But lately, something had changed. It began subtly. Patients admitted during the night presented with unusual symptoms: disorientation, pale skin, whispered voices only they could hear. Some described nightmares so vivid they could swear they were real. What unsettled Simon the most was what happened by morning. These patients, often dozens each night, were gone, their beds cold and empty, no records of discharge, no explanations. At first, Simon chalked it up to clerical errors or early discharges, but the pattern was undeniable. On the hospital whiteboards, messages appeared, written in shaky, hurried handwriting, warnings that vanished when nurses arrived. They come at night. Don't look behind you. The ritual is not over. Simon's colleagues dismissed it as pranks or hallucinations from exhaustion, but Simon couldn't shake the feeling that something darker was unfolding. One stormy night, the hospital's power flickered as rain pounded the windows. Simon was called to admit a new patient, a man claiming to be Patient Zero. The man's eyes were wild, and his voice shaky but insistent. "I'm part of the ritual," he whispered. "The pact made decades ago. The entity feeds on fear and pain. It never left." Simon tried to remain rational. "Who made this pact?" he asked. "The old staff, the ones who vanished in the fire. The ones you don't talk about," the man said, eyes darting to the dark corners. That night, Simon's investigations took a frightening turn. The hospital's basement, sealed off for years, held clues. Old ledgers detailed a ritual to trap a malevolent force that preyed on patients and staff alike. The entity demanded sacrifices, souls to feed on pain and fear, and in return, it promised the hospital safety. As midnight approached, Simon heard whispers creeping through the vents and felt shadows crawling along the walls. The night shift patients returned, pale, ghostly figures with glowing eyes, drifting silently through corridors. Simon realized he was trapped in a nightmare cycle. The patients were vessels, their spirits claimed by the entity, feeding its endless hunger. Desperation gave him courage. He sought to break the ritual. He found a hidden chamber beneath the hospital, walls etched with strange symbols and remnants of the old pact. Reciting a passage from the ledger, Simon performed the counter-ritual, his voice trembling as the air thickened. The shadows recoiled, the lights flickered violently, and a deafening silence fell. For a moment, all was still. Then the entity screamed, a sound of rage and agony, before vanishing into the ether. At dawn, the hospital was quiet. The missing patients returned, pale but alive. Simon knew the battle was won, but the scars remained. The hospital, with its dark past, still whispered secrets, and some night shift patients never truly left.